says there's you say this Amud HaChochmos. Why is it? We're here in Yudal. The idea is that every mitzvah a person does, he has to remember that the Eibush is Motzi and Eini Motzi. That the Eibush is a source to creation, and on the other hand, the Eibush is not a source of creation. These both things are true. That he's higher than being a source of creation, and that he's a source of creation. That's Motzi and Eini Motzi. Yeah. Eini Motzi means Shahu Eini Motzi, not that he's not existent. That's the whole explanation of the Sikha, that don't think that's what the Ram writes. He doesn't say Aladash Eini Motzi. He doesn't say Shahu Eini Motzi. The Shahu, this person that we're speaking about is Eini Motzi, is existing in a way of Eini Motzi. Motzi is like the Lashon Harmab from the Meir Nevuchim. So that's one thing he said, and yeah. Now we're holding, I think, Yudald. In the second round, we're holding Yudald. We'll start Yudald. V'hinei b'aloch zu, this aloch shaydi shesh ha'motzi rishni yisei kol ha'teira. B'fart the Rambam enumerates two concepts. First, the yisei this. It's a foundation of foundations, and Beis Amud HaChochmos. It's a pillar of all wisdoms. Abir was why do you have to say two expressions? Because Ater yisei this kol aloch shabichos yisei that. What's Yiseidis? First of all, there's Yiseid and Amud, and then there's also Yiseidis and Chochmas. So he's going to say like this: Hater Yiseidis kol halachos shebichos Yiseidis Atera. When they say foundations, they're referring to the halachos and hilchos Yiseidis Atera, which are all Yiseidis. B'chlos is more encompassing. It's going on halachos sheb'chol sefer Amad. The shekol hamitzvos b'sefer zeim ikar das Moshe Rabbeinu alav hashalom. They're all the main part of the religion of Moshe Rabbeinu alav hashalom. Fine. The Ram writes in his Akdama. As opposed to Chochmos, different the halachos after Hilchos Seder b'frat l'achar Sefer Hamad, and especially more in detail, it's after Sefer Hamad. When they cry Chochmos, Hashem HaKazu ki Chochmaschem. It's called Chochmos because the whole Torah is Hi Chochmaschem v'nas l'einei Amim. You now understand why Mashagab you say this. Why you say this? Not the Lashon you say that. You say this. Gab Chochmos. He says Am v'amud HaChochmos. Kidul come on. He's going to explain now why by Yiseidis it says Yiseidis, and by Chochmos it says Amud HaChochmos. So first we understand what's Yiseid, what's Amud. Then we'll know why over here he uses this Lashon, here he uses the other Lashon. So he says, if there's Vav, Yiseid Amud b'muvanim HaPoshut. The difference between a foundation and a pillar, the simple understanding is, Yiseid U'dov Sh'ol Mavus Kol HaBinyan. A foundation is something which on this is founded the whole building. Or below the Yiseid Le'itachon Kol HaBinyan. Without the foundation, the whole building won't be able to stand. That's a foundation. Amud is only haltunta. How do you say it? It's supporting the thing that's on top of it, and it's also lifts it up, makes it higher. But the sustenance of the thing is not dependent on this pillar. It exists without the pillar as well. It just helps it out. It should be higher. Leans on it. So, you say this. You say now. We'll know why by the halachos of you say this. The Ram says it's that this of knowing the Eibush there is that you say it's a foundation. The halachos the Chochmos. He says the Lashon Amud by the halachos of Chochmos, which is the rest of the Rambam, the rest of the 13 Svarim. He says the expression of Amud, a pillar. Why? Because when it comes to the halachos of Yiseid Atera, in the Diyas Havayot Tnai Ikri B'chol Teichonon. This is a main Tanai with, how do you say it, a condition B'chol Teichon and all the Teichon of all the halachos of Yiseid Atera. You need to have knowledge of Hashem, or else it's impossible to have all these things. The foundation, it's a foundation. Without it, it doesn't exist. For example, Shari B'liya Yiseid Diyas Havayot. Without the foundation of knowing Hashem, it's impossible to do the halach of unity of Hashem. If you don't know of Hashem, how can you know of His unity? Avas Hashem, to love Hashem, v'yiros, to fear Him, v'chulu. Ve'eisei adover gam ba'halach shebadal prokem achreinim l'hilchos Yiseid Atera. Sheb'inyan nevuah. Kivin she'inyan nevuah, dvar havai. What is nevuah? The word of Hashem. So if a person doesn't have the knowledge of Hashem, he won't be able to relate the whole idea of prophecy. This is a foundation for these foundations. For these halachas, it's crucial to know. Of course, everything needs to know about Hashem, that there's a commander. That's he's going to say soon. Say that the Allah after comes after you say that especially after the Sefer Hamada. You could understand, you could picture their entity, their existence, at least in most of the halachas, even even without the foundation of knowledge of Hashem. You don't have to know the Eibishter, you don't have to really get a knowledge. You have to have a general belief in Hashem. And why do you need to know about the Eibishter? The need, the Yidiyas Hashem, of knowing of the Eibishter. Allah said to these halachas, in order that the learning and the doing should be the ultimate completion. And that means to elevate the mitzvahs. Then we need to realize that the Eibishter is a creator, higher than creator. Nee, man darf glauben beglas der Eibishter, aber du wissen die Protim, also sie ein Motzu, in eine Motzu. Nein, sagt, the Leida Sheyesh Motzu Rishon. Yediyas Hashem darf man schon. Aber der Munne Klolis darf sein. Darf glauben beglas in dem Eibishter, aber nicht, du wissen alle Protim, also es Motzu Rishon, und eine Motzu, das ist nicht so von der Gehe. Aber when it comes to knowing Achsavai, the more you know, the better you know Achsavai. The more you know about the Eibishter, the more you have Avos Hashem, the more you have Yidus Hashem, the more you know about the Eibishter, the more you'll have you'll know about what does it mean that the Eibishter relates to someone as Navur. I don't know how much it's connected, this ace, with the rest of the whole Hemshech HaDrן. Looks like it's a little different. Yeah. Okay. The difference between a foundation and a pillar is not only in regard to the things which are founded on them, or standing on them and relying on them. There's another difference about the difference of a Yisayid and Amud in regarding to the things themselves. That what? A Yisayid, the foundation is hidden. Tom Bakarka, it's very, it's hidden in the ground. As opposed to the pillar is revealed al Gabi Akarka, it's on top of the ground. You can see it. That is the same to its true in regard to the foundation of knowledge of the Eibishter and the pillar of knowledge of Hashem. The difference between the two is not only in regard to the connection to the foundations which are standing on this foundation, to the wisdoms just standing on these pillars. It holds up, but it's on top of the foundation. It's not the foundation itself. We'll soon see. In the wall, but there's Amudim here. This is L'chav, the Sefaras. This is Damos. Yeah, yeah, that's what he's saying. Now he's saying a different word, that the Yisayid itself is a different type of Yidiyas Hashem than the Amud. He's soon going to say what it is. Yisayid the Yidiyas Hashem la'alochs in the Christ Yisayid, so we get the Helam. The Yisayid of Yidiyas Hashem, for the halakhas which are called Yisayid, is hidden. Amud Yidiyas Hashem la'alochs in the Christ Chochmah, so we get the Gilum. This is revealed and this is hidden. Va'abir b'zeh. So that is going to explain very clearly. Yidiyas Hashem, knowledge of Hashem can be like in every knowledge. There's two concepts. There's Nekuda Seyin, there's Nekuda, which means Ha'anochas Sichlis Sheyeshamot. It is the Seichel Dika Oplig. That means a person realizes that there's a creator. And then there is another way of explaining that there's not just knowing this Inyan, is the explaining it. It comes to be explained. And this is considered Helam v'Gilu. Shnei Inyanim Eilu, Heim HaHelam v'Agilu Sheba. These two Inyanim, the Hanachas Sichlis, and the way it comes to explanation, that's the hidden part of it and the revealed part. Why? She's going to explain. Hanachas Sichlis, Shalamayla mehaz, but if it's higher than explain, you can't explain someone else. It's a knowledge that a person himself knows and feels it. You cannot force another person and the other person should also receive it and take it. There's no explanation to it. So how are you gonna convey it? Therefore, it cannot come and have an impact to the outer world. In the second way, when the knowledge of Hashem comes in a way that he could explain it, he could explain it to someone else. Therefore, even before he actually explains it, it's the type of gili. It's a gather of gili. You could say that this thing is already revealed. It could have impact on others. It's within the person himself. It's already in the shaykhs to gili. He says, Here the Rebbe is stretching it a little bit. Saying, just like you have the difference in Yidiyas Hashem, you have a Yesed Yidiyas Hashem, and Amud Yidiyas Hashem. There's a difference also. Also, Bedugma Lazeh is going to be the difference of the two types of Halachas HaTeirah of Yesedis and Chochmas. Why? Hilchas Yesed HaTeirah and Christ Yesedis ain't Shaychas Bedugma Mekayim and Machshavas Adam. The halachos of Yesed HaTeirah, the foundations of the Teirah, which are called foundations, for the same reason why they're called foundations, because they're hidden. Because in the person's thought, the other person doesn't know about it. No one knows what the other person is thinking. Any other halachos after Yesed HaTeirah, and the Kreuz, which are called Chochmas, that's the action and the speech of the person, which another person could also see. So now this is Yesed, and this is not Yesed, this is Chochmas already. Now understand why the Ram is Medaik to say Yesed is Vamud HaChochmas. This union of knowledge of Hashem, which has to penetrate or will have impact by Yesed HaChochmas, every place according to what accordingly. And it comes to Yesed, you need to have Yesed. When it comes to Chochmas, you need to have Amud. But halachas, these Yeseides, since these Yeseides are mainly in regard to the person's thought, which is hidden from someone else, the other person doesn't know about it. Therefore, the knowledge of Hashem, which has to impact them, is also in a way of Yesed. Since it's only the person within himself, doesn't have to impact someone else, therefore the knowledge of Hashem is enough in a way of Yesed. The mere fact that he knows that there's a creator. Only the person himself feels it and he's convinced of it. He brings over here before, Al Derech, the union of Rav, they asked Rav a question on what he said. Questioned him and he said, he didn't have charat of what he said. He was quiet, he didn't have what to answer, but he didn't change his mind. Why? Because he had it in a higher level than an explanation. He couldn't explain it to them, but he had it. He was certain that this is the way the halacha is. The Shmeichel noch am meisten. Gekannt, but then he Shmeichel war sehr wissen, will explain to them, it won't be so good for them. That's what he said. Okay? Akaponim. So he's saying over here, so that's what he's saying. The Anoche is enough to convince the person himself. Since these halachos are regarding to the person's speech and actions, which is something which is revealed even to someone else. Therefore, what's the concept of knowledge of Hashem, which has an impact on these halachos, since they're revealed halachos, which impact the world around him? He speaks about it. He's doing it. It's already actions outside of himself. That's what has to also be the realization of Hashem. Has to also be in a way of Amud, which is Gili. I don't know if the two Asbeidim and Amud and Yesed, if they mesh. You know what I mean? No. The first explanation he said and Amud, Yesed is the whole thing is dependent on. Amud is that it lifts it up and it elevates it. Now he's saying Yesed is hidden and Amud is Gili. Yes, it's two beautiful.
The fact is that the Yesed is the one that's the Yesed. The foundation.
He's saying they have both aspects, but why here? Right.
Amud is only support.
Right.
The Gilu is dependent on
the Gilu is dependent on them support, but it's not like somebody walks you know, you work in a company, the balabos is not the one who pays you. You think that the manager
the manager.
So the manager, but the manager is not the balabos.
Right. He's standing outside.
So this is foundation. The amud is gilu. This is gilu in hell, no?
Yeah, but zogt echet as a that the Indian from holding up the whole thing, or just supporting it. So the question is does this hold also when it comes to Anochas Sichlis and the Hasbara, that the Hasbara could only support and not hold? Mashenga the Anochas Sichlis is stronger. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Because the amud, without these studies, no. This
is where everything starts. Without that, nothing exists. Okay, I hear you.
This is about the Chasar Hasbara, Chasar Havana.
Yes, that's the word. In this sikha, it doesn't hold. Here he says that he could be convinced of something, higher than Hasbara. It never came down to Hasbara. You know, it's so real to you, like he says, read the Chochmah. It's Amis Etzli. It's usually it's not a regular person. No, a regular person doesn't have it. It's a higher caliber of seichel.
What's that? What did he say?
Anochas Sichlis. He's saying that there's a word. If it's missing in Hasbara, you're missing in Havana.
Yeah.
You don't understand yourself. That's what you can't explain to someone else. If someone can understand to himself, will be able to explain to someone else. So, but here we're saying no. Like Ri and Shmi, yeah. You can see something, you know for sure this is the reality, but you can't explain it necessarily. Even Shleim HaMelech, things he saw, I couldn't explain it. It says in the Pasuk, he saw the Eibush and the Shechina was in the Beis Hamikdash, but he couldn't understand how does it fit, how does it work. So the Rebbe Rashab explains it in a mimer, but the Shleim HaMelech had a question about it. It's not a joke. He didn't until the Eibush explained it.
Because
yeah. Let's go a little further. Okay, up here now. According all that we mentioned till now, Apiter Sachsidis, when is Gama Shaykhs at Tevis, says Shem Avayim Rumas Ben. According to this that we mentioned till now, according to Chassidus, we understand also the connection of the words. He says to the Shem Avayim, which is hinted in them, in these words. That he said, he said that the Rambam starts with the Shem HaMeferish, which the staves, if you say Amud HaChochmos. So he says, why is it that is, and it's exact, why it's hinted in such a way that by you say this, it's Yudke. He says like this: the 4 letters of the Eibusher's name is connected, it's divided into 2. Yud v'kei Rishena is Nistoris, and Vav v'kei Achreina Niglis. There's the hidden part of the Shem Havayim and the revealed part of the Shem Havayim. Yeah, like Seichel and Midas, like the Rebbe explains in the Mamorim, many Mamorim, that Seichel is for a person for himself, and Midas is for the way he relates to others. Same thing over here in the Eibishter. The way the Eibishter is before the whole world existed, the Eibishter had already, Chachma B'nei Kaviyachol. I got another place that says that that too is also for the world. We're not going to go there. And then there is, Midas, the way he relates to others. Emotions, fine. Stage Shebachol Chelek came B'chinas Mashpia Makabel, and even in these 2 divisions, every letter, these 2 letters are Mashpia Makabel. So he says in the order 65, Shalchei Yud Vav Hein Tchurin, Otein Hein Hein Nukfin, Kimefursam. So he doesn't really bring a marker for this. He just says Kimefursam. Reizer Yitzchayim V'Kamakins. Bringt Zeizer Yitzchayim.
Isn't Hey Bin and Hey Machus?
Yeah.
So that's Nukhan?
Yeah. Because they're both Makabu. And Midas is yeah. It's a mashpia to Malchus. You only speak what you feel. So your emotions are feeding your speech. And same thing with Bina is being fed by Chochmah. You understand what you got at first glance. Stage B'chol Chelek Chos Mashpia Makabel. Hey is Shein Makabel Smeis Yud. Keachreino Makabel Smeis Vov. Habir B'Zeh B'Kitzara. He's going to go into short. It's not going to go too long. says like this: Eis Yud hi nekuda, veis kedisheni kasha nekuda. The Yud Bob b'chinas is parshus leirich v'reichim betvunas is kei. Hein she'in sheben nekuda is part leprotim. What does he say over here? The letter Yud is a nekuda. It's a dot. It's like a flash. And the letter, the first they say, he analyzes. Yeah, it comes into details. He could explain it. Since what is being revealed in the Heire Shena is in the Kudah, in the stories. It's very interesting. This is Aces of Chassidus, but it's Aces in a bit Chirdik. He's explaining Chassidus, but he's saying it's for everybody. It terms for everybody. So he says, since what's being expressed in this first hay is a Nekuda, so how, even when it comes to details, it's still going to be the way he understands it, Mashpi himself understands it. And no one else is going to be able to nash from it. Other Zulas won't be able to get from it. Therefore, it's considered in the studies. It's hidden. It's also Yisaid. It's also within the person himself. Within the Mashpia himself. He's in other places it says that it's the way the Mashpia is estimating what he's going to give over to the Makabel before he actually gives it over to the Makabel. So it's all within himself.
Not before that even?
What do you mean before that?
It's like nothing to do with
Before he becomes
no?
Gilui.
But why is he thinking altogether about this idea? It's all because it's Tzedek HaMakabel, but it's in himself. What do you think? I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But the Eis Vav, the letter Vav, since it has a line, the Sefer know these things good. Since it's a line shows on Amshach V'Gilui, a revelation. When this comes to details, these details already are nitvas in the Klei Makabel. There's a difference between how you write the first hay and the second hay, right? I just realized this is put. Is there a difference? Yeah, the yud and the bottom is lying the sideways. Yeah, I just figured it out. It's not chiluk.
What happened? Why?
Yeah, and Megillah. I was looking at Megillah.
You give up, okay?
Yeah, but it won't show you.
No, not Yud Givovki. I don't know. Maybe I sat in. I had a Aliyah Shabbos. I had a long Aliyah, 2 Aliyahs, Kisisa. So I had a long time to look at the aces. Anyways, I just saw it. I don't know. I feel like I'm worried over here. But there's a reason over here. It's mashma. There's some reasoning over here. Yeah. So he says, in the therefore it's not in the essence of the mashpia. This is the details already that come to the Makabel. The Makabel could handle it. The Makabel could take it. In the last day. But Pisa Nimtzo, according to this, comes out, Shekol Teva Midal Da Tevis, he says, Vamud HaChochmes. Every word of these 4 words, he says, Vamud HaChochmes, Bedugmas, Sheyechas, Le'esa, Eisa, Shem Havaya, Abba Bereshisa. Is like the letter, you say, he's going to go through everything, yeah.
So it's hidden.
Yeah, and the Sayyidis are also hidden. On both Gilui, right. And in this Gufa, there's a difference between Ha-Yisaydis and Ha-Chochmas, yeah. So he says, Yisayd, Sho'in, the idea is Havai Be'evim Shal Nochas Sichli, since it's a way of knowing the Deibster only on Nochas Sichli, Nekuda, is Nekuda, is in of Hela. By Yisayd, Shen Alochas Menegel HaMachshav Sodom Shen Alomis Mizolose, HaMkabels Misayd HaOmer. Hein bedugmas, these 2 things, Yisayd and Ha-Yisaydis, are bedugmas ha'oisis yud v'keir sheino. You say this dugmas hayud, it's the foundation, it's the anochas sichlis, and you say this dugmas keir sheino. It's within the person himself doing mitzvahs, but it's not details. There's mitzvahs, there's a lot of details, but they're all within the person himself. It's all hidden from someone else. The other person won't know what he's thinking. As opposed to va'amud, the idea is Amud, he said, is that's the way, knowing Hashem, the way you could explain to someone else. And the Chochmas is the halachos which are regarding to the speech and action of the person, which the other person could see it. That's bedung says is vav v'kech reina. Va'amud is vav, that's the knowledge of Hashem coming down to explain to someone else. And ha-chochmas kech reina, because that's mamish revealed. Fine. Where is this evolved? It's 68. It says over here 68. Let's learn 68. Another word over here. 8 inyan bazeh. Ha yisayid is v'ha'chochmas in shnin yodin nifrodim. Mashen yisayid v'amud im teirim b'yin echad.
Yisayid is a chokhmes. Yisayid v'amud.
Why is yisayid v'amud? Why are they both defining one thing? Shekashar ha'noch sheyesh ha'motzi ha yisayid. Mshachs m'lamayla hes to lamata gili tzur zvav kav m'lamayla lamata bol de azbori yatzim naisis gam amud. Ah? You say this is but no, are you asking in the pnim or are you asking the order? In the pnim, in the order is a woman. He's saying you say this is the person is doing the mitzvahs for himself. Chachmas is the way he's doing mitzvahs the way he relates to others.
You say this is another thing. The word.
Yeah. You say this that noch a sichlis of the and then there's the kima mitzvahs based on that. Then that's how you say this. Then the amud is the knowledge of Hashem, the way you could explain to others, and achachmas is the mitzvah, the way it's seen to others. That's what he explains in the pnim. Now he says, how you say this, you say this, and the chachmas are two separate things. There's two types of mitzvahs. You say they're both defining one thing, how this inyan is coming down. What's the amud? The amud is explaining this anochas sichlis that he had. שכשהנוכח שיש אמוציה יסי נמשכס מלמעלה הסתר למטה גילוי צור זבוב קו מלמעלה למטה בול די הסבורה היא עצמו נייסיס גם עמוד. The הנוכח sichlis becomes also a pillar. על דרך זו גם בדל דיס שם הווי שביזה הינם בייס בקרן השנס משן יוד וווב היוד עצמו נמשכו ונייסיס ווב. This is the safe you have to for sure know this. That you have to write the vov, it comes from a yud. Absolutely, yeah? Everything starts from here. So what's the pshat over here? He brings it here. He wants to say the whole amud is the extension of the yesed. It's not something else. It's the explanation of what the yesed was. So therefore, it's considered it's hamshacha from the yud. As opposed to base hay, there's two different levels. That's why the two hays you write it differently.
The vav is a little bit worse. It's not like the same quality as the yud.
It's going down. It's coming down. It's starting from a vo, from a yud, and then it comes lying down as you bamshach melamayla lamata. Gili.
So interessant. If you, when you schreibst, can you write from bottom to top? It's okay.
You just ruin your feather.
Besides running the feather, I was in theory. Can you write it? Yeah. It's interessant.
Yeah. But in the end, what does it come out to be? I don't know if it's in the how you write it. Depends. What do you see? You see, you read it upwards. Tazan Tashayla, yeah.
I know.
Oh, there is?
Well, the bottom of the vav doesn't exist as a letter. There's no such thing as just the bottom of the vav.
Right. Just write it.
When you write the I, you start from the bottom to up.
It's worse.
Yeah, and also if you have kavanas, he's not going to write. You're not going to be able to focus on the writing.
It's a practical thing.
והנה, באייס is דרשת טייבס הנעל, שני סוגים. האייס is a vov k, שבראש הטייבס, היסיידס ועמוד החוכמס. And hein אייס is השימוש בטייבס שלהם. They're just helping out the word, the אייס השימוש, how do you say אייס השימוש? They're nouns, verbs, how do you say it?
Adjectives? No.
They're not the essence of the word. They're not from the Yesed itself. Therefore, they could change. They're adding on. They're helping out the word. Therefore, it's possible they should change. You could have these words without these Esashimush, these letters. You could have Yesedis, Amud, Chochmas. You don't need to have the Hey, Vav, and Hey. Nothing could change. This is also befitting with the difference of Eis Yud in regard to all other letters of Shem Havai. Why? You know that the word Havai means, among other meanings, that the Eibush creates everything from nothing to something. Havai Losh Mahava. Aber Vayud mishamesh salapul shibeloshen heve v'tomid kepir shasha apozel koch yaisa iuv kol hayom. That the Yud is telling me that it's constantly, that he's constantly doing it. It's now. As what? As Yud is loshen heve?
Yes, von der Ehe, was steht auf
Koch yaisa iuv kol hayom. There apozel got me. Atam the shein atmid should be havs nimmers beis Yud dafke. Why is it that the continuity of the creation is hinted in the letter Yud? Yud shows on Chochma, like we said before. The level of Chochma is the reality of Hashem, which only the Eibush exists, nothing else is in existence. Right? That's that's Chochma. Therefore, the Ein Shai B'Shini, Hitmidis, it's constant. This is a very interesting word. It wouldn't be the way you would think naturally, I think. I'm thinking like this. There's the creation, there's the constant creation. So what's more essential? The creation or the continuity of the creation? That's some creation. But here he's saying that the creations happen constantly.
This is
The fuel. Let's see, R74, maybe we'll see some interesting things. Teres Levi Yitzchak, Sefer Amudei Reveilach, Reishon Kuftazash. Zog Amatam al Masheis Yud Shem Havai in Mishtani Gam Bimilui, Ki Chochma B'Knesach Ha'Emes Emes Dov Shem Ben Shinoi. What's Pshatein Mishtani Gam Bimilui? I think that the Vov Dal is also B'Gematria Yud. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, Yud is always Yud Vav Yud.
Oh, Yud Vav Dal, right? It doesn't change. It's always Yud Vav Dal. Ma, Ab, Ma, Ban, and Sag. Yeah. Hey, Aleph, hey, Yud, hey, yeah.
What is understanding?
You always, all the Shems of Havaya, Shema, Shem Ban, Shem Ab, Shem Sag,
Yes.
Yud is always Yud Vav Dalet.
You cannot change
It always stays Yud Vav Dalet. Why? Because it's Emes. Emes doesn't change.
Hey, you can say hey Aleph, hey Yud.
Yeah, Pizi Yum de Gamzeh, Shina, Tmidis, and Nimbus base Yud, the Leben Negela Yud Atzmo, Kim Negela Pulas Eisavs, and the Mezes basis Cave of K. He says, now we'll understand why the continuity of which is hinted in the word Yud, in the letter Yud. And not in regarding to the Yud itself, rather than regarding to the other letters. Ki'ina, Tmidius, the whole concept of continuity, Shayach Begeder Zman Dafke. We learned before. Other Teyarim that we speak about the Eibishter is only when we speak about time. Kadmin, Nitzchi, as all when we speak about time, but the Eibishter is higher than that. V'lchein be'ez Yud Gufa, li'ezim k'nesech ha'emes. Shehu levadu v'enz los, sheini begeder zman klal, ein shayach le'megufa, ba'gufa she'itmidus, he's not shayach to say that it's constant. V'in atmidius shabo, rak v'negel ha'esav, shem tzad eisis v'heivav, and hey. The gam she'v'tzad atzm le'ezim shayach le'esav, se'elam she'begeder zman shayach ben shinoi, that the Eis Yud is higher than the whole, it exists. It's not to make constant. What is it going to make constant? Something else. He's going to give MS to something else.
Yud is the one that...
Yeah, he gives MS to something else, but not within himself. It's higher than the Yin of Nitzchis. Yud, yeah. But what's Nirmaz? How does it tell you that constant creation? Not through the Yud itself. There will be a Yud separate from, deviated of it wouldn't mean anything. It's higher than meaning. It's higher than continuity. The Hevav K is creation. In order to give in them a continuity, a consistency, that's through the Yud. Yeah. Let's finish this part of the Hadar. Maybe. What time is it? It's 40. Hine, asom sen yonam shbenigel ter b'chol pratei yonam de pnim zater anirim b'teva. As you say, they say so. Amud hachokmas. the matching up all the Yom which are Nigla with all their details to the Yom of Chassidus, of Pnimis HaTeira, which are hidden, which are seen in these words of Yisrael, says V'amudah Chochmes, the same thing in all the Yom and Teira to fit Nigla to Chassidus. Like that one said that I have a nature that Rebbe said about himself. When you tell me something in Nigla, I already find it in Chassidus. Tell me anything in Chassidus, I already find it in Nigla. Rebbe said he has such a nature. Say, you don't know, let it to somebody. So he says, you see, it comes from these words itself, from the Rambam. She says, we said before that what's the say? They say that includes two concepts. Firstly, and secondly, we should know firstly that the Eibush is a source to creation. Secondly, we should come to realize that the Eibush is not a source of creation. He's higher than being a source of creation. The connection of Motzi, the way the Eibush is a source for creation, or the way the Eibush is beyond being a source of creation, the way it's in Teiro, is al derech in Teiro. What is it going to be? The difference between Nigla, revealed parts of Teiro, and the hidden parts of Teiro. That if you connect these two, you're connecting the source of the world and beyond being a source of the world, because Gali the Teiro speaks about the worldly matters. Sosim speaks about the Eibush, the way is higher than the world. So connecting the two is connecting the Motzi and Ein Motzi is connecting the thing of Gali and Sosim. Yeah, by day lima Nigla Teraptim Satira, and by learning Nigla and Chassidus, in a way that they should be meshed together. V'achi Yisachtim become one. Terachas Niska will merit la yud to the promise of Besim v'Chesim Sefer Rayad, the promise that the Rambam writes in the end of the Rambam. You Yisrael Chacham G'delim v'Yedin Dvarim Astumim will be great scholars and will know hidden things. V'Yasigu Das Beidam K'Fikech Adam will know hidden things and will understand it as possible by a person's knowledge. So he says over here in the order of 75, to know hidden things, that's the knowledge in the level of Einimotz. To understand the Creator's knowledge, which means the Creator, the way they relates to us. Fine. So that's this is this is going to be when Mashiach comes, we'll have the understanding in the hidden things and also in the revealed things of Hashem. And we'll know them both as one. That's what it looks like. We'll connect both together, the level of Motz and the level of Ein Motz. The Rebbe basically tells what's going to be when Mashiach comes. That's what it's in a nutshell. Where are we holding in the time-wise? We're Shinganik, there's Mama. 9:40. Okay, we'll stop here.
Okay.
We'll go next week. We'll continue with Hashem. Yeah.
What's the 10 days?